Crazy day, but the divorce is final. My ex-wife, and her father, and I hammered out a settlement agreement in mediation last week. It took all day, but we finished. Basically, it's over because we all agreed. Only one side is required to prove it to the court. That day, I was gracious and let the children remain with her since she had relatives visiting from out of town. We swapped days. Attempting to offer an olive branch. For some reason, I feel she has messaged me every day since then. I disregarded the most of it since it had nothing to do with the kids. My mother fell and shattered her hip and leg on Thursday night. My poor mother is also a saint. She has devoted her life to her family, particularly my mentally challenged elder sister. Friday was prove it day, and I was thinking about more than just the divorce. It moves rapidly with simply me and my lawyer present. Remember that we have already agreed on everything, so this is just basic information for the courts to accept what everyone has signed and agreed on. I received my gal since today is my return day from last week's swap. My ex-wife messaged me about something, and I responded sarcastically, "Congratulations on obtaining the divorce you wanted." She cheated on me. She responded with a message saying she hasn't seen any documentation yet, so wait off. I informed her that I had gone before the court today, and that we would be divorced on June 11, 2021. Her communication halts. I'm not sure why, but I assumed she'd be pleased because this was what she wanted. I'm about to start supper with my middle kid when I receive a call from my ex-father-in-law, who asked me to come out and chat to him. We haven't communicated in weeks. I see him at my children's sports and when I pick up and drop off my children, but we never talk. He's simply staring at me. I simply think he's been duped and will accept anything his daughter says him. Because this isn't typical, I took out my old phone and activated the recorder. I stepped out, and he's sitting in his pickup in my driveway. I went around to the driver's side and he didn't get out. Instead, he had his window pulled down. He asked how you were going to go before the judge without her. I informed David that this was not a personal attack on him. He was present under my protest the previous week, as well. I didn't marry you, and I'm not divorcing you, so I'm not going to have this conversation with you right now. I should have gone inside the house at this point. If she wants to speak, I'll have a conversation with her, but I'll stay out of this. He said that you would be in touch with me. When I pointed my finger at him to emphasize my point, he smacked my finger away and exclaimed, "Don't point at me." I was stunned. I told him that his daughter is an unfaithful woman who has been sleeping with a married man since it is my house and I have the right to point wherever I want. I also informed him that it is my home and I have the right to point anywhere I want. I realized this is a stupid argument. He referred to me as a liar many times. I said that she had slept with more than one married man and had caused havoc in their homes. He claimed to be surprised at first, then inquired as to how I knew what he was talking about. I said that I had reviewed the bills and supporting documentation. I also talked with the cheater's ex-wife, who confirmed my suspicions. He reaches a point when he is careless about the cheating and begins to enjoy himself. He alleges that he squandered the whole sum of money. She has lately received tens of thousands of dollars in compensation, and if he had to live with me, he would have cheated just as much as the rest of us. He claimed to be an expert in everything. I guess not if you aren't aware of her having relationships with married men, I said sarcastically. His other two daughters have also followed in his footsteps. I wanted to know how it felt to be the mother of 3 adulteresses. He believes that his participation in the problem is a contributing element. What do you suppose his father would think? Then he reaches out and hits me in the arm. His father was a very religious man. He raised his beep. I was quite upset, but maybe I crossed a line. I defend myself and take retaliatory action. I tell him to come to a complete stop. I'm not interested in going to battle with this old man. The judge is the target of his latest tirade, which he starts once again. Even after I described the method to him, he was still agitated, saying that their attorney had neglected to advise them of the procedure. Because of this, he starts to accuse me of being nuts and claims that my son, his grandson, will be just like me. This is not my fault. When I met him, I told him that I thought he'd be a wonderful person and hoped that he didn't marry a beep. He apologizes for his earlier comments and stresses that this is not the end of the story. I'm terrified he's going to run me over with his car when he cranks his engine. With each stride, I get a little closer to our robust in-ground basketball hoop. Not sure how long this will continue, but it's all I have till he finally leaves me alone. I called the police, who responded and made a report, but I decided not to press charges at this point in time. In order to make a difference, I have 2 years to do something about it. The police officers went to my ex-resident's girlfriends and spoke with her and her sister, who is also insane. She could be her own post. Her father was not there at the time of the incident. My sister came at my house at the same time I was chatting with the police officers. My girls are waiting for me inside the house now that I've returned. I had to fill them in on a few facts since I believe one of them was there when the police arrived. They made the decision to go to their beds since it was about 10 o'clock. It was a pretty gloomy way to wrap off the day's activities. I held them and informed them that I cherished them and would do all in my power to keep them safe. It is unclear what this is not over truly means, but I have a feeling he, the ex-father-in-law, has something in the works at this point. Nobody knows what he's thinking at any one time. I hope you were able to make sense of all of this insanity. I'll hold out hope that things will get better from here on out. Update. Saturday I drove my middle kid to her basketball game. My ex texted me to say she was coming to pick up a few personal items from the home. She still had clothing here, so I assumed she was taking them, and it's my fault for assuming instead of asking. While I was at my daughter's basketball game, I received a call that my mother had had a stroke and was being airlifted to a larger hospital that could assist her. When I returned home, I saw that the house had been gutted. She drank a much. Everything remains in the home until it is sold, according to the terms of the deal. She may be upset since she told her AP in November that she was receiving everything she wanted, including the home and children. She did not get the home, and my kid now lives with me. I also see my daughters virtually every day. I don't believe she read or seemingly didn't grasp what we committed to the week before, or maybe she doesn't care, like our marriage. I was so concerned about my mother that I didn't care what was going on in the home and ran away to be with her. My mother was in the intensive care unit till today. She is improving, but she still has a long way to go. My ex did contact on Monday to inquire about my mother, or maybe she was fishing if I'm going after her dad for assault. She attempted to explain that her dad was with her when she found out the divorce was complete and she was disappointed she didn't get to appear before the court as well. She assured me that I would do the same for my daughters. She also stated that she didn't know why she left, and that he didn't come to my home until it was finished. She said that she dismissed her attorney because she wanted revisions to our mediation deal. This agreement is stated at least 3 times. My mediator and my lawyer both told me the same thing. She left a note for my attorney that she needed 30 days to consider her choices, but she isn't in a rush since I'm dealing with my mother. I texted my attorney, telling her I don't trust her and requesting that she complete the remaining piece of paperwork. We'll see what happens since she did it yesterday. My attorney and my brother, who is also an attorney, both said that my ex is powerless to intervene. That's the end of it. I'm not sure what the fuss is about considering she desired the divorce and has an AP. Let's put a stop to this and let me leave. I went home yesterday night and was attempting to find out what had been stolen. We were meant to divide certain things, and you can imagine how that worked out for me since I wasn't here. One thing that puzzles me is why they stole all the Bibles. We had quite a few of them. She clearly doesn't care about what's stated in the Bible, so why take them? I'm sure she rationalized her acts, but it doesn't make them acceptable to God. I sometimes want to contact her and tell her some of these things, but I know I'm wasting my time. I think she is with AP this week, and now that we are split, I must let it go. When I think of them together, I feel a little shaky. I did it tonight, and my middle kid noticed it and became really concerned about me. It's not a good sign. I hope I never meet him because I'm not sure I'll be able to stop myself from pursuing him. I know it's hurt, but I may have to leave if he shows there at some time. I'm going to start IC again shortly, and I know I'm going to need it. Anyway, thank you for your prayers for my mother. Many of you, I'm sure, are going through difficult times with your spouse or ex. I wish you the greatest of luck and tranquility.